Hi guys, a lot of people were interested in how to craft in-stacking gloves. So the people with the most damage are using Intimidate Frenzy gloves with Aisling crit chance with elemental damage suffix. And the rest of the affixes is one random prefix that you can't really control most of the times. And some more damage or int or accuracy or attack speed or some res on the last suffixes. And they're pretty easy to make, and I'm going to show you how to make them. The frenzy charge doesn't really need to be elevated, but if you want, you can. It gives you better uptime on frenzy charges, but I don't think you need to elevate it. The intimidate is really good to elevate though. So you want to start on a tier 1 intimidate. You alteration spam this on a level 85 base, and the base you want to craft on is fingerless silk gloves because the spell damage scales attack ones because people are using Crown of Eyes to scale with spell damage as well. And on average, it's going to take you 250 alterations. If you happen to have another suffix, if you're lucky like this, and you have 2 influence mods, you can imprint and Maven directly like this, and it's a 50-50. If you don't have this and you have like just another random mod like this, and you want to remove the other mod so you can continue the craft, you can always go in the bestiary, you imprint the base like this, and you try to annul the life gain on kill. If you remove the good mod, this one, Intimidate, you can either imprint back, or if you don't want to spend the money on the imprint, you can just alteration spam again until you have an open prefix, open suffix, I mean. And let's say we removed it, so we have just this by itself. Once you're at this step, you want to do prefix cannot be changed, and you want to imprint, because on the next step, it's going to take you 3 imprints on average to add another influence mod. If you're lucky and you get it first try, like randomly, you can just Maven straight up. But on average, it's going to take you 1 in 3. So you imprint first. Then if you go in the harvest, there's a craft that, as you can see here, they're all chaos reforged with chaos, but there's some of them that are also like an alchemy version of this. You can actually use it directly on the blue base. So if you have that, use it directly. It's like a chaos reforged. And if you don't have it, you can just regal and use the normal chaos reforged. It's gonna be fine. In this case, we hit our mod. And if you were to use Reforged Physical instead, there is more physical mods, because there's Fizz Damage Over Time Multiplier and Chance to Impale, which are both Fizz tags. But there's also a lot of other Fizz prefixes, like Fizz Damage to Attacks. So instead of being 1 in 3, it's going to be 1 in 4. And you only have to craft the prefix cannot be changed once, because you always imprint back. So it's going to cost you 2 Exile to start and then 3 imprints, which is like 1x.5. And when you get to this state, you want to Maven, and it's a 50-50. If you elevate the other mod, you can probably just sell it or imprint it back and go again. So you regal, depending on if you want to do it faster or if you want to get back some of the profit, and you just reforge. If you don't get it, you imprint back and just do it again like this, reforge chaos, and you'll get it. So once you're done, you Maven, and whenever you have Intimidate, you're done with the first base. On the second base, I recommend probably just buying a base with Frenzy by itself to just trade up Awakener Orb, or if you also want to get Maven Frenzy, you can get a base with another influence mod. It should be pretty cheap. If there isn't any, just get one with an open prefix. Or you can also alteration spam yourself if you want. It's gonna take you around 500 alterations. And all you have to do is, you don't have to imprint this one most likely, because it's really hard to brick this, but you can prefix cannot be changed, and then you just reforge caster, and it's guaranteed to hit any tier of spell damage. You could hit other influence mods, but you can always fix it with reforge key prefixes, or if you don't want to do that, you can imprint at this state. So you imprint, so you're guaranteed that you don't break it, and then you reforge caster. The same thing, you can use the reforge caster on the blue base as well. You don't need to be on the rare base, so you don't need to regal and then do the reforge caster. If you use the alchemy version of this craft, it actually works on the blue base. So I'll show you. You reforge caster, you always get spell damage. If you get more than 2 influence mods, you want to either imprint back or reforge the suffixes to get rid of the other influence mods. And the goal is to just get 2 influence mods and Maven, like we did before, and we want the elevated frenzy. This is a 50-50, it can fail, and you can sell the other base. If you fail the elevation, you can sell whatever got elevated. And you don't need to elevate frenzy. I just showed you if you want to do it, but it's not necessary at all. So once you have the 2 bases that you want, with the one with frenzy, you want to Awakener Orb on top of the other one, and awaken. And now you will get 2 prefixes guaranteed because you walk orb them together. And the third prefix is going to be random. So if you want, you can try to get some energy shield as a prefix. So you can do prefix cannot be changed and reforge defense to get some energy shield like this. Or you can also try to do reforge caster to try and get spell damage, because remember, your build scales off of spell damage. And it's almost guaranteed, I think. Let's go check. It should be guaranteed if you do reforge caster that you get the spell damage prefix, because there's no caster here. And in Warlord, there's only 1 caster. So yeah, if you do reforge caster, you're guaranteed getting spell damage. And this is damage because you're using this helmet. And it gives you damage on wands as well. So that is really good. If you can force spell damage, I would probably go spell damage over some more yes, because it's really unlikely that you get a high tier of yes. And even if you get it, it doesn't scale. Like the only good outcome will be like getting a really high tier of flat, because you don't have percentage. So like you can only have 1 tier of energy shield here. Once you're happy with your prefixes, you're going to reforge key prefixes if you're full. You don't have to do this step if you have 1 suffix open, but if you're full, like if you had 1 open, you could just go ahead and do the next step. But if you're full, you just do reforge key prefixes to get rid of at least 1 of the suffixes. So now we want to craft prefix cannot be changed. And depending on what you need on your build, you can do reforge speed for attack speed. You can do reforge attack if you need some accuracy, or you can do reforge cold, fire, or lightning if you want 1 res. This is kind of up to you. I would probably go for reforge speed if it was me. And I will try to get a high tier of attack speed like this. And in this case, I probably would roll over because the lightning res is in the way. And I would just go prefix cannot be changed, reroll speed again. And this might take a few tries, because how many tiers of attack speed do we have? We have 4 tiers of attack speed, so it's a 1 in 4 on average. And if you get another bad mod, I would probably roll over like this. If you have got another good mod here, you can keep it and you can just do prefix cannot be changed and Iceling directly, and maybe you remove it. Or if you want to be sure that your gloves are to break, like if you want to increase the chance of not breaking your gloves, I would say you would just go for the attack speed by itself. So once you're on this step, you can have multiple crafted mods with prefix cannot be changed, and this increases the chances of Iceling from 50-50, when we usually would do prefix cannot be changed plus Iceling, so it's a 50 between attack speed and prefix cannot be changed. In this version, we have a 66%, so a 2 in 3 of removing 1 of the crafted mods at the cost of 2 extra exalts, and a 1 in 3 chance of removing the attack speed, which is the good mod that we want. And as you can see, we removed the prefix cannot be changed. The prefixes are safe, they cannot be touched, and you have a 1 in 3 chance of breaking the attack speed. If you remove the attack speed, you start over with this suffix. So you do prefix cannot be changed before speed again until you get it back. And before unveiling, you want to go here and look at the possible veiled suffixes and see what you don't want. So Some things that you might not want are maybe you don't want this mod, minions recover, or you have onslaught doing soul gain prevention, or damage during non-boss skills or brand attachment. Anything with 1000 weight. Ideally, you would block one of these, but your build actually scales really well off of intelligence. So getting intelligence here would be good. So we are not blocking this. We could block 1800 by crafting strength and dexterity or any of double attributes because it blocks all three. But we're not doing that because in case we get hit, it's really good for our build. So we're blocking, like, you have Onslaught doing soul game prevention or whatever, and you Unveil. And this is the perfect mod. Elemental damage if you dealt a critical strike recently, and the crit chance. If you can get this, always go for this one. If you can get int instead or some res, you can go for that as well. I would prioritize this one, and then the second one, any intelligence. And then you just remove the craft, and you craft the last mod, which I would recommend either flat int, 30 int, or you can get a hybrid, like, for example, Dex and int, or Strength and int as well. And yeah, it's pretty much done. All of the mods are really good. They all scale your build. Intimidate is insane. Frenzy is really good. Spell damage, this is not deterministic. You can only get this if you have an open prefix, and then it's guaranteed. The attack speed is guaranteed, and then this one is guaranteed. All the suffixes are guaranteed. It just takes a few exalts to get them, but you can force them. You can always reforce key prefixes and reroll the attack speed. It's 1 in 4. It doesn't take too much to get the attack speed. It's 8 exalts. And the Iceling is a 2 in 3 chance of not failing, and then the craft is pretty much free from the bench. And I think these are really good gloves. They're actually better than what people are using here, because they have better attack speed. I mean, they have attack speed, which is a better mod, and they also have a spell damage prefix, so it's actually more damage. And that's pretty much it. The gloves are done. They're really good. And thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.